So I usually don't do these like topical videos on like the news that comes out pretty often, you know. I feel like there's news that comes out like daily, but I only do like videos when I feel like there's something that should be talked about, you know, and I have a strong opinion on it. And I definitely do have an opinion on this. That being, Bandai Namco is apparently making some cuts, like reducing their workforce, and also canceling projects, including a Nintendo one, which I want to talk about. So yeah, let's just get right into it, shall we? So yeah, I just don't really like talking about these like topical news stuff, really. Just because, I mean, there's many other YouTubers that talk about the news like constantly, you know, and I don't really have a major opinion on most things that come out, though this is an exception. So apparently, according to Bloomberg, which Bloomberg is a paywalled website, which is kind of stupid. So people have to pay for it, and then they have to spread that information to other websites. So right now I'm looking at a Nintendo Life article about it. So apparently, according to Bloomberg, Bandai Namco is apparently making a swift cuts to its workforce, including canceling and pausing a number of projects. So among these projects is a Nintendo commissioned thing, alongside games based on anime properties such as One Piece and Naruto, which that's already something I want to say, I want to talk about, because look, before we talk about the Nintendo thing, because I do have worries about that, the One Piece and Naruto thing kind of surprises me, because I feel like anime games come out constantly. I mean, recently this Dragon Ball Sparking Zero or whatever, that game came out, you know, and it's doing really well. You see so many of these anime games come out, and I feel like they do pretty well. So I don't know why, you know, Bandai Namco is like canceling these two games. Like, it feels like, especially with a known property like One Piece and Naruto, they would perform pretty good. And also, we don't know what the thing is for Nintendo, but it's a Nintendo project, and I'm sure they would have been funded pretty well. So I don't know why they like canceled it, or at the very least put it on pause. We don't know if this is all confirmed or true, you know. I do want to say that take this information with a slight grain of salt. Look, Bloomberg is an actual source of information, you know. They are credible. They are an actual news website. But I still think you should take what they're saying with a slight grain of salt. I mean, they talked about the Switch 2 or Switch Pro so many times, and that didn't happen. I know there's arguments about that the Switch Pro was going to happen, but then COVID happened and they changed it to the Switch OLED or whatever. I don't know if I want to believe that, you know, just because, I mean, that feels like you're winning, but also you're not, like saying, oh, see, I was right, but plans change, you know. But anyway, they are still credible, and they wouldn't post something if they didn't have at least some idea that this was true to an extent. Anyway, going back to the Nintendo thing, I don't know why they canceled it or at least postponed it, because like it's Nintendo is a, you know, it's a major company. They would have paid well no matter what it was. With there's many speculations on what this thing could have been. God, I really hope it wasn't Xenosaga, because look, I've been hoping for like a Xenosaga and even a Xenogears like port remaster for some time now, especially because Xenoblade 3 Future Redeem's ending, no spoilers here, but the ending heavily implies something Xenosaga related is coming to the Xenoblade universe, you know? And in the credits of Xenoblade 3 Future Redeem, Bandai Namco is listed. There's also a lot of Xenosaga and Gears references in Xenoblade 3 Future Redeem. So, like, it makes sense, and I think they are working on a Xenosaga, like, remaster collection thing. But if that's what was canceled here, God, I really hope it wasn't, because they have done this before. They have, like, they've showed interest on doing some sort of thing with Xenosaga, like another collection. This was like talked about a few years ago. They apparently asked people, but not enough people were interested apparently in it, or something happened. They were considering this like Xenosaga thing, like a collection before, but they canceled it, and I hope they don't do it again, especially after Xenoblade 3's DLC. Like, Oh my god. Another thing that it could be is Kid Icarus, specifically Uprising, you know, the 3DS game. Some people think that they were working on that because of some hints from Sakurai on like his YouTube channel, and also Bandai Namco's close ties with Sakurai and the Smash development, which we'll talk more about later. But like, is that canceled? I don't know. I feel like technically Xenosaga and Kid Icarus, they're kind of niche Nintendo things or Nintendo adjacent things, you know, in the case of Xenosaga, because Nintendo doesn't own that, but Xenoblade, they do. Anyway, they're niche stuff, so I would say that these are more likely to be canceled, but you don't know. It could be something else that we don't know about. I know I saw something which I think is possible, was could have also been working on a Xenoblade X port, but I feel like that would have been done in-house by Monolith Soft. In fact, I believe they said that before. They want to work on a port internally, and then they said it would be hard to do it on the Switch or whatever, which is why I think it might come out for Switch 2 next year. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. But the point being, we don't know what this thing was, and I hope it wasn't something, you know, like Kid Icarus, or especially Xenosaga, you know? I really hope it wasn't, because it will be really sad. Maybe the best outcome we can hope for is that maybe they canceled stuff for Metroid Prime 4, because apparently there was rumors that Bandai Namco was developing the game before Retro Studios came back and took over. So maybe they canceled, I don't know, the rough outline they had for Metroid Prime 4 because, you know, Retro Studios is working on it now. I don't know, that's probably like the best case scenario, but I feel like that's not very likely because of the fact that, I mean, I feel like it would have been canceled, that version of Metroid Prime 4 for a while now, you know? Now, the Nintendo Life article continues to say we don't know what the Nintendo project is, but Bandai Namco has previously worked with Nintendo multiple times, including with most famously the Smash Bros. Series, 3DS, Wii U, Ultimate, you know? They also worked on Pokken Tournament, which I did not know about, and then also half of the assets for courses, characters, and card parts for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Does that include like Mario Kart 8, like the Wii U one? I don't know. But they have worked on, you know, Nintendo stuff before. In fact, they even did like, they created 2 studios. Like, even here it says in the article, last year they made Studio 2 and Studio S for development for commissioned projects, including Nintendo stuff. Like, I think Studio 2 was for commissions for different things, and Studio S was for specifically Switch stuff. If I am mistaken, please correct me in the comments. But I believe that was the case. And then earlier this year, users on social media spotted the studio was no longer hiring positions related to the Nintendo project. So, is the Nintendo project still going on? Is that canceled? I don't know, man. It was a bit worrying, but that's not even the worst thing. I mean, I care about Xenosaga. I want that to be remastered, brought over to Switch, modern consoles, you know. But these things are small in the grand scheme of things, especially when it comes to workers, because we got another round of layoffs, except not really, but it's probably worse, ? So apparently this is a thing in Japan where they do a thing called Asibiya. I don't know if I said that right, probably not. Otherwise known as expulsion rooms. And it's a thing, again, known in Japan where they put pressure on employees to leave voluntarily rather than outright firing them. Now, how do they do this? Well, guess what? By leaving them in an empty room with nothing to do, and they hope that they get so bored that they just leave and quit. Which I believe if you quit in, like, especially a Japanese company, but maybe even in companies like in general, you don't get any benefits, like, at all. Well, if you're laid off, you do get something, which is horrible. You know, if you're fired, you get some benefits, I believe, but if you quit, you get nothing, or next to nothing at least. So yeah, this is not good. Again, it's known in Japan. According to the article, about 200 employees were subjugated to this room thing, which is horrible. That's really a lot of people, you know? And have them all be in this stationary rooms is just like, oh my god, torture. Now, apparently Bandai Namco has said that it is not doing this. Like, they refuted the Bloomberg report, which, look, it's just hard for me to comprehend who is right here. I think there's nuance to both, because I don't want to say, oh, Bloomberg is obviously right, they got it, Bandai Namco is lying, but I also don't want to say, Bandai Namco is telling the truth, Bloomberg is lying. I think there's like some nuance to these things, like there was for the Switch 2, Switch Pro stuff that happened. I think there's nuance there, that not everything was right, but not everything was wrong either, So I don't know what's going on here. I think to some extent this is true, which sucks. Now I did see some people saying, oh, this is great, I would just bring my Switch, I would just bring my phone, computer, all that stuff, and I can either work a second job while I still get paid to do nothing, but it doesn't really work like that. I mean, for some people I feel like that will work, and that's cool, maybe enough people will quit on their own, that person that does enjoy not doing anything, they don't have to quit. But here's the thing, most people, especially in Japan, this is like viewed as like a dishonorable thing. This is seen as embarrassing. You don't have nothing to do, and you're usually there to work for a specific thing, and while you're stuck in this room, it's basically like timeout. You can't do really anything productive to rise in the ranks of your job or to make extra money, You technically do get paid, but like it's like a whole thing. It's like a psychological thing, which I feel like can not work for some people, but for many people it will work. It will do exactly what this tactic is supposed to do, which is make people quit on their own. They get so fed up with just doing nothing that they leave, Not saying that there aren't people that, are gonna say, oh yeah, I can do nothing at all, baby. Let's go. I just get paid to watch YouTube videos and play on my Switch, at work. Like I'm sure there's some people that do that, but this is overall a bad thing. Also, I don't even know if these rooms have like windows or if you could see outside. Like it might just be a solitary confinement room, basically, where there is literally nothing to look at besides the walls, which, I mean, even if you have your phone with you, which making the argument that you could bring stuff with you. What if you can't? What if you just can't bring anything with you? You're just stuck in a room. That would drive anyone insane. But even if you could bring technology with you, I mean, I feel like not having a room with like windows would drive anyone insane, at least after a while, This shouldn't be good. I keep saying this, it's very common in Japan, but some things Japan does, it feels like it's ahead of the curve when it comes to the world. I mean, they usually don't lay off people, Nintendo is especially good at this. Usually they find them different jobs. Many Japanese companies, like, Satoru Iwata did pay cuts for themselves so that employees could keep their jobs during, like, tough times like the Wii U era. But in some other ways, Japan is, like, ruthless, And I guess this is a valuable life lesson, that the world kind of sucks. In some ways, well, in other ways, it's kind of not that bad, There's nuance to everything, Lots of people like to trash talk the U.S., but there's good things about the U.S., obviously. There's a reason why people want to come here, They want to leave their other countries. And there's benefits to other countries, too, But, there's, like, trash and everywhere. But there's also good things, so, yeah, Anyway, the article ends off with saying how this is another sobbing story for the industry, with the brutal string of layoffs that have been happening over the past 2 years, which is crazy, and Bandai Namco isn't immune to these, which sucks so much. So, yeah, and then there's people commenting, this is a disgusting practice, and they hope that some games, like the Nintendo stuff, weren't canceled fully or whatever. I don't know. This commenter here says that they imagine most Nintendo projects are mostly profitable. Nintendo's financing at least part of it. So I don't know why they would cancel it. And I still think that it's weird that they would cancel, stuff like the well-known properties like Naruto or One Piece. It's just kind of strange in my opinion. To be honest, I think that might be it for the video, guys. It's kind of a disappointing end because this does suck. It really does suck, this practice of, laying off people, but especially this thing in Japan where they like basically punish you and time out. They make you quit so you get less benefits. I believe that's how it works, It just sucks. And I hope some of the Nintendo stuff wasn't canceled, like, Hopefully, if there is a Xenosaga thing, they don't cancel it. You know, Kid Icarus. I don't really know much about Kid Icarus, but, you know, lots of people are hoping for that too, you know? The world needs to fix itself, you know? There's so many things in the game industry and just the tech industry as a whole. There's just been going, like, downhill. I really do feel like we are on the verge of, like, a video game crash at some point, because it doesn't make sense that there's been so many layoffs these past 2 years, and so many things like budgets are increasing, games are taking longer, games are buggy most of the time. Like, I feel like there has to be a breaking point. I feel like this is just more evidence for that, the Bandai Namco thing. But let me know what you think. I think I want to do a video talking about Ubisoft, because that's another thing that's kind of leading to a breaking point, I feel, for a video game crash in the near future, because they have been going through a crazy time right now, and I want to talk about why. Another reason why I kind of don't want to make these topical videos is because I don't get, like, the most information available, you know, especially if I cover something too early, you know, because these videos come out like a day or two later after I record them, depending if you're like a YouTube or Patreon member, for example. Some of the information is already outdated, but with the Ubisoft thing, there hasn't been much new information for the past like week or so, so I think I might cover it soon, maybe even tomorrow. I don't know, we'll see. But anyways, I'm done rambling. That's gonna be it for me. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications, play some Xenoblade, and I'll catch you all next time for more. Peace. Bye, everyone.